So, ladies and gentlemen, this day has come. So we are celebrating today the start of the operation of the European Public Prosecutor Office, and it's an important day, of course, for the European Union. And I want to say that I'm very happy as Commissioner for Justice to be here in Luxembourg on this occasion, together with the colleagues near from the European Court of Justice and the Tribunal. So the place to be for the European Justice is maybe more and more Luxembourg. And so first, I would like to thank and congratulate the Chief Prosecutor, Mrs. Kövesi, dear Laura, and the European prosecutors for the admirable work they have done in setting up the European Public Prosecutor's Office. Sans oublier, bien sûr, les autorités luxembourgeoises qui ont accueilli le parquet européen sur leur sol et, je le disais, font ainsi de leur pays la capitale judiciaire de l'Europe. L'entrée en fonction du parquet européen est une étape tant essentielle qu'historique dans l'évolution de l'intégration européenne. Essentielle car le parquet européen a pour mission de protéger le budget européen, un budget sans lequel les politiques de l'Union européenne ne seraient que l'ombre d'elles-mêmes. Historique car c'est la première fois qu'une grande majorité d'États membres partagent leur pouvoir régalien en matière de droit pénal en faveur du budget de l'Union européenne. Ça nous a permis de nous doter d'un tout premier parquet européen habilité à poursuivre et traduire en justice en toute indépendance les auteurs d'infractions portant atteinte au budget de l'Union européenne. Les chiffres liés à la fraude parlent d'eux-mêmes et justifient pleinement l'existence du parquet européen. Pour la seule année 2019, le montant de la fraude au budget européen tel que rapporté par les États membres s'élevait à 500 millions d'euros, aux alentours de 500 millions d'euros. Il est d'autant plus urgent et capital de compter sur l'action du parquet européen, alors que l'économie européenne va bientôt être dotée d'un budget très important pour la relance économique post-Covid. Nous avons entendu cet appel et nous y avons répondu. Ces fonds du Next Generation EU ne doivent évidemment servir que les intérêts de l'économie et des citoyens européens. And this is why the EPPO's mission to protect the EU budget is crucial and deserves our full support. Mrs. Kövesi and her team can rely on the Commission's support to fulfill their activities efficiently. Also fully independent, the EPPO is a story of European collaboration. 22 member states have joined in the enhanced cooperation. In Luxembourg, they are represented by one European prosecutor each. At the national level, at least 2 national prosecutors will conduct investigations which the central office based in Luxembourg will supervise in all independence. The central office will also be in an ideal position to coordinate the investigations in complex cross-border cases such as serious VAT carousel fraud. And thanks to this structure, the PPO will achieve the best of both worlds. The strong European impulse given to investigations will be combined with the day-to-day activities at national level. To date, 5 member states have decided to remain outside the enhanced cooperation. I would like to remind them that they are welcome to join the PPO anytime. We stand ready to support them in the process of joining the enhanced cooperation. In the meantime, those countries have to keep in mind that the protection of the Union budget is not of concern to the participating member states only. It requires the common effort of all EU member states. I would add that cooperation is everyone's business in the EU, including that of our citizens. With the EPPO, citizens will be able to report, like it was said by the Chief Prosecutor, any criminal activities to the Office too. It will play a part in curbing crime in Europe. The protection of the Union's financial interests does not and must not stop at the borders of the EU. The trail of fraud and money laundering often leads us to jurisdictions in our immediate vicinity and beyond. This is why the PPO has to create and nurture close bonds with the competent authorities of the participating member states, as well as those of the non-participating member states and third countries. Here again, the European Commission will do its utmost to help the office strengthen its position beyond EU borders through robust cooperation with authorities in third countries. Fighting fraud today requires a powerful institution equipped to cast its net wide across border and beyond. It may still be early days, but I'm confident that today's launch of the European Public Prosecutor Office is the only one and best way forward, and I count on the participating member states to conclude in some case the legislative process to implement the regulation on the PPO in their national legislation, and I count also on some member states to complete or to start the appointment of the European delegate prosecutors, because it's very important to be equipped in all the participating member states in the near future. But I'm very pleased that we have the opportunity to start the operations today. So congratulations, not only to the Chief Prosecutor, but to the staff here in Luxembourg, to the College of Prosecutors, and to all the EDPs at work at the national level, because since some hours now, you have received a fair case, so you will have to start the discussion with your colleagues about those first cases coming in here in Luxembourg. Thank you.
Are there any questions?